Chosen one, this message didn't find you by accident. God led you here on purpose. You've been holding on longer than most people would even dare. You've been praying with a torn heart, believing with an exhausted mind, and standing on a word when nothing around you looked like what God promised. But still, you're here, still believing, still standing, and God sees it. This message is your confirmation. Don't let go. God is saying, I'm closer than you think. The breaking is near. The release is near. The shift is happening. What you've been carrying wasn't light, but it was holy. And what's coming isn't small. It's generational. You weren't chosen for comfort. You were chosen for breakthrough. And that kind of breakthrough only comes to those who refuse to let go, even in the dark. Let's break this open in 7 powerful chapters. Before we go any further, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Because this isn't just a message, it's a divine instruction, a prophetic signal meant for the chosen ones who are right on the edge of breakthrough. If your spirit feels this, type 77 in the comments right now. That's not just a number, it's a spiritual confirmation, a signal to heaven that you're not letting go until the blessing breaks open, until the chains fall off, until the promise manifests. This word isn't for the faint-hearted, it's for the faithful. Only those who endure will make it to the end. But if you do, you won't just be inspired, you'll be activated. You'll walk away with clarity, divine strategy, and supernatural endurance for what's next. This isn't a message you hear once and move on from. It's a mantle, a reminder, a spiritual download that will meet you again and again. Rewatch it anytime you feel weary, and you'll receive new fire, fresh focus, and another piece of your divine blueprint. Let's dive deeper. Chapter 1. You're closer than you feel. Chosen one, there's a tension in your spirit that you can't quite explain. It's like your soul is holding its breath. The pressure is rising. The atmosphere around you feels heavy, thick, and uncertain. And in your quiet moments, when no one else sees the weight you're carrying, you've asked yourself, God, how much longer? But here's the truth. You need to tattoo on your heart. You are closer than you feel. The emotional fatigue you're feeling isn't because you're far. It's because you're right at the edge. It's because what you've been praying for, crying for, fasting for, is brushing up against your reality. And the resistance you're facing is a sure sign that your breakthrough is threatening hell's agenda. Think about it. If you were truly far from it, the enemy wouldn't bother. The warfare wouldn't be this precise. The distractions wouldn't be this constant. The discouragement wouldn't be this loud. But because you're nearing divine alignment, because you're about to step into what was prophesied over you, all of hell has sounded the alarm. Don't confuse God's silence with his absence. And don't mistake your weariness for weakness. You are being strengthened in the silence. You are being stretched in the waiting. And the very fact that you're still holding on, still tuned in, still seeking God, is evidence that he hasn't let you go, and he's not about to. This part of the journey feels the most disorienting because your old season is closing, and your new one hasn't fully opened yet. It's the in-between, the wilderness, the divine hallway between prophecy and promise. And it's in this hallway that many turn back, many give up, many let go. But not you. You're not here because it's easy. You're here because you were built for what's coming. You've been anointed for the long haul. And that weariness in your body, that ache in your spirit, that's not just exhaustion. That's birthing pain. You're pushing something through that your bloodline has never seen. The pressure is proof that the shift is near. The silence is a sign that heaven is up to something behind the veil. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. The cracking is part of the coming forth. The confusion is part of the reordering. The delay is part of the divine setup. You've come too far to quit now. You've cried too many nights to let go now. You've overcome too much to back down now. God is saying, don't let go. Don't back up. Don't question your position. You're closer than you feel. You're minutes away from movement, seconds away from a shift, one act of obedience away from overflow. Hold on, because what's about to break open will change your entire life. Chapter 2. The breaking point is also the breakthrough point. Chosen one, the place where you feel the most fragile, the most stretched, the most undone. That is the exact place where God is doing His greatest work. It may look like you're being broken down, but in the Spirit, you're being broken open. And there's a difference. When God allows a breaking, He doesn't do it to destroy what's precious. He does it to release what's hidden. Just like a seed must split open in the dark soil to birth a tree, you too are being broken for breakthrough. Not to be buried, but to bloom. Not to perish, but to produce. Your breaking point is not the end. In fact, it's the exact place where breakthrough begins. It's where your pride is shattered and your purpose is revealed. It's where your self-sufficiency ends and your full dependency on God starts. It's where the illusion of control is crushed and the fullness of divine guidance begins. Don't curse your breaking. Honor it. Because what's breaking isn't your future, it's your limitation. What's breaking isn't your promise, it's your prison. You are not falling apart. You are falling into alignment. Chosen one, God is saying, I'm breaking you open to pour something through you that the world has never seen. I'm making room. I'm releasing oil. I'm refining the vessel. And here's what many people miss. The oil doesn't flow until the vessel is crushed. The perfume doesn't pour until the bottle is broken. The blessing doesn't burst until the old structure cracks. You've been asking for more, and God is responding with breaking. Because the breaking is the only way more can come. You've been faithful through the pressure. You've trusted through the tension. You've waited without answers, praised without progress, and believed without evidence. That kind of faith doesn't go unnoticed. It activates heaven. The tears you cried in silence, they were holy. The prayers you whispered with trembling hands, they were recorded. The nights you held your chest just to keep from breaking, heaven held you. And now the ground is shifting. The internal cracking is almost complete. And when it finally breaks open, it's going to pour. Overflow, opportunity, oil, open doors. It's not going to trickle, it's going to burst. The dam is at its limit. The pressure has been building for too long. God didn't allow the breaking for you to walk away empty. He allowed it so you could carry more than you ever imagined. This is why you can't let go. This is why you must endure a little longer. Because what feels like the end is actually your introduction to a whole new dimension. You're being broken, but you're also being built. You're being crushed, but you're also being crowned. You're being stretched, but you're also being strengthened. So don't panic at the breaking point. Praise at the breaking point. Because your greatest flow is coming from this fracture, and your legacy begins where most people would have given up. God is not done. This breaking has purpose, and your breakthrough is about to erupt. Chapter 3. You have spiritual permission to wrestle. Chosen one, you are not weak for wrestling. You are called to it. You are not faithless because you're fighting. You're being formed by it. This journey was never meant to be clean and comfortable. It was meant to transform you. There's a reason your soul feels like Jacob's, locked in a struggle, grappling in the dark with something you can't fully explain, yet can't let go of. That something is divine. That unseen force isn't your enemy. It's your upgrade. In the stillness of night, when it feels like your prayers bounce off the ceiling, when your questions echo louder than your answers, God is closer than ever. He's in the wrestle. He's in the silence. He's in the confusion. Because for the chosen one, wrestling isn't rebellion. It's refinement. Jacob didn't wrestle with a demon. He wrestled with God himself. Why? Because before destiny is confirmed, identity must be clarified. Before the blessing is released, the internal war must be faced. Your wrestle is not weakness. It's evidence that you're transitioning. You're contending with old mindsets, generational chains, past trauma, silent disappointments, spiritual resistance, all while trying to stay aligned with what God showed you. And He sees it all. Religion might tell you to pretend, to perform, to polish your faith. But relationship gives you permission to press in, even when your questions outweigh your confidence. This is the kind of faith that doesn't just stand tall. It knows how to fall face down and weep. This is the kind of walk that doesn't just declare victory. It also cries in the valley. God is not offended by your struggle. He invited it. He allowed the tension because it creates transformation. He allowed the fight because it refines your fire. He allowed the delay because it deepens your dependence. And here's the mystery. It's not the fight that disqualifies you. It's the fight that confirms you. The ones who wrestle with God and still don't let go, those are the ones He marks. Jacob didn't win by overpowering God. He won by refusing to let go even after being wounded. That's where the blessing came in. And for you, chosen one, the wound is not the end. It's the proof you touched the divine. Yes, you'll walk with a limp. Yes, you'll move differently than before. But that limp, that mark, that shift in your gait, it's a sign you've encountered God. And just like Jacob became Israel, the struggle is producing a name change in you. From doubtful to devoted, from broken to birthing, from hiding to heralding, from pain to power. You are being renamed in the Spirit. You are being re-identified in the realm of heaven. You're not who you were when the wrestle started, so don't let go now. Don't walk away just before the sun rises, because the same struggle that's been exhausting you is the same struggle that's about to elevate you. You've got spiritual permission to wrestle. You just need divine persistence to finish. And when the dawn comes, everything and everyone will know you were touched by God, and you will never walk the same again. Chapter 4. What you're carrying is covenant. Chosen one. What you're carrying isn't ordinary. It's eternal. This isn't just a dream you came up with. It's a covenant God made with you before time began. Long before you ever walked this earth, heaven marked you as a vessel, a carrier, a changer of cycles, a fulfiller of divine blueprints. That's why it feels so heavy. That's why your journey has required more silence, more pruning, more warfare than most people around you will ever understand. Because you're not just carrying potential, you're carrying prophecy. You see, a dream can be personal, but a covenant, that's generational. A covenant is heaven's agreement with your life to birth something that goes beyond you, something that shifts your entire bloodline, blesses those connected to you, and outlives your name. This is why the pressure has been so intense, because the promise you carry comes with divine responsibility. You weren't just chosen for blessings, you were chosen to break cycles, build altars, and birth legacies, and the enemy knows it. That's why he's been after your mind, your peace, your stamina. He's been trying to convince you that it's not worth it, that you should give up, walk away, and let the vision die in disappointment. But God is saying, hold on, I'm still going to do exactly what I promised. Remember this, God didn't give you a covenant so it could expire in delay. He gave it to you because He trusted you to carry it through the silence, through the suffering, through the spiritual droughts, and still not abort it. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be faithful. Noah wasn't perfect, but he obeyed. Abraham wasn't perfect, but he believed. Mary wasn't perfect, but she said, "Be it unto me." And you've come too far to drop this now. You're carrying a promise that has ripple effects in realms you can't even see. You're carrying the answer to a prayer your ancestors never saw fulfilled. You're carrying a mantle that will one day rest on someone else's shoulders because you chose to keep going. Yes, it's lonely. Yes, it's overwhelming. Yes, sometimes you feel like God has forgotten. But chosen one, covenant carriers are often hidden before they're revealed. They go through isolation before elevation. They endure warfare before witnessing. Don't despise the wait. It's a sign that what's inside of you is real. Don't curse the wait. It's preparing you for the scale of what's coming. You may be bleeding silently. You may be building while battling. But the moment is coming when heaven will shout, "It is time." And what you've been carrying in secret will be revealed in power. So hold the vision like a mother holds a child. Speak life over it when it looks lifeless. Pray over it when it feels stuck. Guard it when others don't understand. Because what you're carrying is holy. It's not an idea, it's an inheritance. And when God fulfills His covenant with you, you'll look back and realize every tear was water for the soil. Every delay was preparation for delivery. Every battle was proof that the promise is real. You're not just chosen to dream, you're chosen to deliver. Because what you're carrying is covenant, and covenant cannot fail when it's God who wrote it. Chapter 5. You're breaking through what broke others. Let's be real. Most people would have let go by now. Most would have buckled under the pressure, cursed the process, and abandoned the promise. But chosen one, not you. You're still here, still fighting, still praying when there's no visible sign, still believing when your circumstances tell you to quit. That's not weakness. That's spiritual endurance. That's not denial. That's divine resilience. You weren't built like everyone else. You were wired with a deeper spirit. There's a tenacity in your soul that won't allow you to quit, even when quitting would be easier. There's a fire in your belly that refuses to die, even when the winds of life try to blow it out. Why? Because you're breaking through what broke others. You're shattering strongholds that have stood in your bloodline for generations. You're confronting curses that ran unchecked for years. You're choosing healing where others chose hiding. You're choosing obedience where others chose convenience. And that's not small. That's warfare. That's legacy-level strength. That's heaven recognizing you as a cycle breaker. See, the attacks you faced weren't random. The heaviness, the betrayal, the rejection, the silent seasons, none of it was accidental. It was strategic, because the enemy saw what was coming if you ever pressed through. He saw the anointing on your life. He saw the glory waiting on the other side of your pain. He saw the doors your obedience would unlock for others. And so, the pressure increased. But what the enemy didn't count on was how deep your roots go. He didn't expect you to keep praying through the pain. He didn't expect you to worship with a broken heart. He didn't expect you to keep sowing, keep serving, keep showing up. You did what others couldn't. You stood when others folded. You waited when others rushed. You held on when others let go. That's why what you're carrying is sacred. Because your breakthrough is not just personal, it's prophetic. When you break through, a wall comes down. And not just for you, but for everyone connected to your obedience. This is bigger than your feelings. This is bigger than your timeline. This is about divine disruption. You're disrupting patterns that were passed down like inheritance. You're breaking emotional habits that were normalized in your family. You're building what was never modeled for you and doing it in real time, by grace. And the truth is, it hasn't been easy. You've had to keep going without applause. You've had to forgive what tried to break you. You've had to trust God in the dark. You've had to carry the weight of things you couldn't explain. But God saw it all, and He's been strengthening you in secret, training you in private, equipping you for what's about to be made public. You're on the verge, not just of a moment, but of a movement, not just of a blessing, but of birthing a new blueprint. So don't give up. Don't get weary in the push. You are literally steps away from a spiritual cracking, a divine rupture in the resistance. The wall you're pushing against is about to break. And when it breaks, it won't just be your freedom. It'll be your family's freedom. It'll be your children's freedom. It'll be your generation's new beginning. Because you didn't just survive, you overcame. You didn't just endure, you conquered. You didn't just pray, you persisted. Chapter 6. God is stretching your capacity for what's next. This season isn't just about survival. It's about transformation. You're not just being tested, you're being trusted. You're not just waiting, you're being widened. God is stretching your capacity, not to break you, but to bless you. What's coming next isn't ordinary, it's weighty, it's generational, it's heavy with purpose and soaked in glory. And shallow vessels can't carry it. Immature hearts can't hold it. Rushed spirits can't handle it. That's why the delay feels uncomfortable. That's why the silence has been long. That's why the pressure has intensified. Because heaven isn't just preparing a blessing for you. Heaven is preparing you for the blessing. You asked God for something big. You prayed for impact. You asked for doors that no man can shut. And now, He's molding the version of you that can actually hold it without leaking. Every day of uncertainty, every door that didn't open, every relationship that faded, every opportunity that slipped away, was a tool in the hands of a potter who refuses to let your destiny be crushed by unprepared hands. He's stretching your faith. He's stretching your patience. He's stretching your ability to trust when there's no evidence. He's stretching your discernment so you can tell the difference between a good opportunity and a God-ordained one. And the stretch hurts, doesn't it? You're being asked to give more when you feel empty, to stay planted when you want to run, to be silent when your name is being misunderstood, to obey without the full picture. But here's the truth. Stretching always comes before releasing. Ask any archer. The bow must be stretched before the arrow can fly. Ask any runner. The body must stretch before it performs. Ask any mother. The womb must stretch before the birth. So don't despise this stretch. It's not punishment, it's positioning. You're not being forgotten. You're being fortified. You're not losing momentum. You're gaining muscle. God is building the internal structure that can handle external success. He's anchoring your identity so your platform doesn't become your prison. He's purifying your motives so the influence doesn't intoxicate your soul. Because what's coming? It's legacy changing, it's soul shifting, it's kingdom advancing, and it can't rest on weak shoulders. He's preparing you to carry what others fumbled, to sustain what others misused, to complete what others only talked about, to protect what others took for granted. You'll be the one who lasts, not just launches. You'll be the one who carries it with integrity, not just charisma. You'll be the one who stewards the weight without letting it crush you. So let God stretch you. Let Him pull you past your comfort. Let Him mature your character while the promise is still cooking. And remember, the deeper the foundation, the higher the structure, the longer the stretch, the greater the release. So keep praying, keep showing up, keep obeying when it doesn't make sense. Keep honoring God in the silence, because the stretch is proof you're trusted with more than most. And when it finally breaks open, you won't just be blessed, you'll be ready. Chapter 7. This isn't the end. It's the edge of everything new. Chosen one. You thought it was the end, but it's not. It's the edge of something sacred, the edge of something supernatural, the edge of something that's going to rewrite the story the enemy tried to end prematurely. You're standing at a divine threshold. Everything around you may look like it's falling apart, but heaven is whispering, it's not falling apart, it's falling into place. The pain didn't come to destroy you. The silence didn't come to defeat you. The delays weren't meant to discourage you. They were all disguised preparations for what's next. Because what's next is too holy to be rushed, and too big to be handled by an unrefined version of you. This is not the end. This is not a closed door. This is not a divine number. This is the edge of everything new. You're about to cross over, and the only instruction heaven has for you right now is this. Don't let go. Don't let go of the promise, even if it feels far off. Don't let go of your faith, even if you feel forgotten. Don't let go of your assignment, even if the instructions seem silent. Don't let go of the vision, even if the resources haven't shown up yet. God didn't bring you this far to abandon you now. He didn't pour into you for years just to watch you faint right before the finish line. You've been carrying this vision for too long. You've cried too many tears, fasted too many days, obeyed in too many quiet moments. To give up when you're this close. Heaven sees your endurance, and God rewards that kind of faith. When you refuse to let go, something begins to break in the spirit. Locks begin to snap open. Barriers begin to fall. Delayed answers begin to move toward you, suddenly and swiftly. You're not holding on to be punished. You're not holding on because God is playing games. You're holding on because the positioning is precise. This moment is surgical. It's strategic. It's sacred. God is aligning you for a release that's been years in the making. And sometimes, right before a flood, things get quiet. Sometimes, right before the baby is born, the pressure increases. Sometimes, right before the breakthrough, all heaven says is, hold on, because you're about to step into rooms you didn't apply for. Hold on, because contracts are being written with your name on them. Hold on, because generational blessings are being released because of your obedience. You're not about to just receive, you're about to inherit. This is recompense season. This is divine reversal. This is restoration on a level that makes people say, only God could have done this. So stay rooted, Stay expectant. Stay grounded in the Word and unshakable in spirit. Don't go back to what you walked away from. Don't compromise what God told you to consecrate. Chosen one, this is the edge of everything new. This is the part where everything shifts. This is the hour when heaven moves. Suddenly, mightily, irrevocably. And when it breaks open, it won't just change your life. It'll change your bloodline. It'll heal what others couldn't. It'll build what others left broken. It'll prove that holding on wasn't just survival, it was the final instruction before elevation. Don't retreat. Don't shrink.